Well, that is my firm belief. That is something I would not compromise in any manner, shape, or form. People need to fully understand you don't compromise when you believe you are right. And you know you are right. And history proves that you are right. So this whole notion that we know for a fact that these Democratic proposals on budget is wrong. There is absolutely no possible way to compromise. Republicans can't go in and say, okay, yeah, let's raise taxes. When we know raising taxes at this time, especially at this time in our economy, is a bad idea. It's the wrong thing to do. It's going to devastate our economy. You don't compromise on it. Well, Rod, if we don't compromise, we're not going to get anything done. Well, then whose fault is that? It's the fault of people who are being selfish. I'm probably going to, I can't believe you're that conservative. How can you possibly, let me tell you something. How can I be that conservative? I'm a black man. And I find it absolutely appalling that in this day and age, that we have more black babies being aborted than being born. We have a negative black population growth in the United States. And you think I should be pro-abortion? Now, it's bad if any race aborts a baby. But you know what? And I don't care about race, but I'm just saying if you are going to care about race, you need to stop and think about that. The whole notion for Planned Parenthood was for one simple thing: to control and eradicate blacks in this country. And by God, they are succeeding. So no, I'm not going to compromise with a bunch of thugs, hateful hate mongers on the left. Absolutely no way. They want to dictate to us about what we can and cannot do or should not do. And they always talk about that the Republicans and conservatives want to limit our freedom. Hell, they're the ones running around telling us what we can and cannot do. Well, we can't smoke, but we can have an abortion. But you can't smoke. Oh, yeah, why don't you just let people do drugs, but you can't smoke? We should legalize pot, but you can't smoke. This is ludicrous. Does anybody besides me find that to be so illogical as to be unbelievable that we would actually, in this country, in anywhere in the world, in this day and age, follow the left's mantra? Tobacco will kill you, but pot is good for you. And killing babies, and even in a late-term abortion in the third trimester up to 8 months, is okay. What is who's the barbarian? Again, I'm not saying that look, I'm all for making marijuana legal. I think it's dumb that it's illegal. I don't think people should be smoking it, but I think it's dumb that we spend so much time and money on preventing people from getting it and using it. You know what? If you take away the stigma, most of the people that smoke it today would probably stop or never even start. But hell, just tax the hell out of it like you do. Say, instead of spending money on it, why don't you make some money off of pot by taxing the hell out of it like you do cigarettes? If they say that cigarettes will kill you but pot won't, well, why not? But this is the social communistic mantra on wanting to tell you how to live your life. And they keep telling us that it's the Republican conservative that wants to tell you how to live your life. Even, shrinking government so small that it gets into your womb. Well, they want to make government so damn big that it even controls the womb because, hey, could it ever get to the point where, a liberalized communistic government starts dictating how many kids you can have or who can have kids? Hey, there were liberal Democrats out of New York, state Democrats that said that, I forget his name, but he was a liberal Democrat out of New York, the state of New York. He was at one point advocating, how you have to have a marriage license in order to get married? He was at one point on record advocating having a license in order to have children. Not a conservative. So you tell me who wants to dictate your life. And you know what? You don't even have to believe me. Here's something. Russia's Pravda declares communism won in America with Obama. U.S. suffering has only begun. In an extraordinary column last week, Russia's de facto government press arm declared that the era of Miss American Pie was over in the U.S., citing Obama's reelection. Now, Pravda stated that the communists have won in America. Why? Because the U.S. is an illiterate society that continues to buy off on Obama's lies of less taxes while he raises them. Look, the Russians have figured this out. Why do you think Putin was doing the jig when he found out Obama won? Hey, yeah, there's my boy. Obama won. Yeah, great. Romney, now he would have been a problem for Putin's thinking Romney would have been a problem for me. But Obama, oh yeah, Obama's my boy. He thinks like I do. The U.S. educational system is also held responsible, with Pravda stating that it was conquered by the communists long ago, and history was revised, thus paving the way for their communist president. We're not, look, this is communists saying this. We've just said, well, he's got Marxist leanings and he's a socialist. But hell, the communists are saying that Obama's a communist. No, they would know. They would be able to recognize one of their own, don't you think? My God, did they hit the nail on the head? America is an illiterate society that continues to buy the lies of Obama, saying that he taxes less while he's raising our taxes. Yeah, that is I've lowered your taxes while he's raising them. They get it. The communist ragmag Pravda gets it. Putin gets it. China gets it. Hell, most of the world gets it. We're the only idiots here in this country that don't get it. Cuba gets it. Chavez, why do you think Fidel Castro and Chavez and Putin endorsed Obama? They get it. We're the only idiots in the planet that don't get it. Well, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it big time. And we're not gonna like what we get. Really? Do I really have to go through this? Do I really have to try to point this out? How many times are we going to point this stuff out? How many times do we got to point out the actual... there is no denying these facts. All we got to do is just look at government records and we can see them. We on the right are not creating these records. But yet and still, you slap somebody upside the head and in the face with the record of Obama, and they still accuse you of being a bigot. Now, ain't that a pip? The Russians, who know all about communism, are calling Obama a communist. And they're loving it. Oh, well, hey, you guys are just You guys have yet to begin. Your suffering is just beginning. We know all about suffering under communism, and you guys are about to experience it. It's coming. Look, you know, if there is one, there is one way to cure communism, and it isn't necessarily by the sword. We've tried that. We were able to outspend the USSR, the Soviet Union, but you know how we're changing China ever so slowly is because those people have experienced communism, and now they're getting a taste of free markets, freedom. All you got to do, and I guess the only way that we're going to cure communism in this country is for the majority of Americans to actually experience it. And when they experience it for themselves and realize that it sucks, it doesn't work, it makes their lives miserable, they don't get anything that they want or like, then they will turn from it. And the only you'll have your extremist left wing that'll always love it, but the majority of people will turn from it. Kind of like they did in Russia. Even though Russians kind of do it. They keep. Well, I don't know if the Russians actually put Putin in power, or if Putin just steals elections. But if you listen to some Russians, it's because of corruption there, and he steals. I know we got people in this country that are saying that Obama stole the election. I'm not going to go that far. We've got enough idiotic people in this. Look what they did in California. Look what they did in California. They California voted to raise their income taxes. Did they not? Yes, they did. And now California's got a state income tax of 13%, and you got some people out there who are beside themselves, and they're going to lament it. Well, you voted for it, and you also voted for the idiots who put your state in the position that it's in. So you're going to have to live with it. I know they're going to start saying, well, if we're living with it, the rest of the country's got it. I'm sure that, California has been exporting their crap all over because, their high taxes are scaring people out of the state, and people are moving I know because we got a lot of Californians here in New Hampshire now. And so they're exporting their ideas to the rest of us. Because, you know the old saying, as California goes, so goes the rest of the nation. So we've got one shot here. Well, possibly two. But, one is more plausible than the other. One, we can let California secede and become its own country, in which case it would soon go bankrupt, and that'd be the end of it, and it could fall off, and nobody would really fall off the continent. Nobody would really care. Or two, every constitutional loving conservative state needs to start exporting their constituency to the state of California so they can take it over. Now, the problem with that is you're not going to find people who want to move to California. Why? Because actually, believe it or not, those who are conservative, they're still pretty smart, and they're not dumb enough to move to a sinking state. Otherwise, a sinking ship known as the USS California. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Conservatives really aren't, at least the general population of conservatives, not the blue blood Republican leadership. The general population conservatives. Read them as the Tea Party members, the American Party, the Constitution Party, the Libertarians. They're not that stupid. They're not going to fall for that trick. Oh, no. Not in your, that's the problem that liberals have with them. Why? They're too well educated.
You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
It is in response to a video, a film. This is in response to a video.
Internet video that we had nothing to do with.
That was spontaneous? Was it a planned attack? Was there a terrorist element to it?
This is a response to a hateful and offensive video.
The video and its influence